This is the Veteran Woman Podcast, the only podcast dedicated to empowering, inspiring, and encouraging veteran women to overcome their struggles and celebrate their successes. Now, here's your host, the one and only Airial.
Are you ready to laugh, listeners? Today on this episode of the Veteran Woman Podcast, I have Linda Marcus Smith with us. She is a veteran and a comedian. So hopefully we can squeeze out some jokes and some laughter from our interview today. I am your host, Airial Renault, and Linda, I welcome you. How are you today?
Thank you so much, Airial. Oh my goodness. So nice to be on your show. Hello, women veterans.
Where do you want to start? You want to tell us a little bit about your background, what you do now?
Yes, I'll do that real quickly so we can get to the funny part. I'm Linda Marcus Smith, and I do comedy because, like Shakespeare says, tragedy plus time is comedy, and I'm turning 67. So I've got a lot of things that are funny now that weren't funny before. My passion is to make veterans laugh. So I've done comedy all over Southern California, 3 counties. For veterans. I've done comedy up and down the west coast of Oregon for veterans and had a weekly show in Manhattan at the VA hospital. And I love my veterans. I'm in my element when I'm around veterans, taking them out of themselves and into the world of comedy for a moment. I believe comedy is healing. I believe that. And I think that veterans need healing, and it can come one source from comedy.
Now, how was your military career?
Well, I went into the military because, I was raised by parents that fought all the time, and I had to use comedy to stop them. And they fought all the time, so by the time I was 18, I needed a lot of attention. I was addicted to attention and telling jokes to distract my parents, and so I needed a lot of attention. Careful what you wish for. When you go in the Army, you get a different kind of attention. You have to stand with attention. And you get a lot of attention from men. Am I right, ladies?
Mm-hmm.
I was one woman among 2,000 men when I got there. The other token woman left. And it was nonstop harassment. Nonstop and worse.
And what year time frame was this that you served?
73 to 76, and that would be 1973, not 18. Yeah, 1973 to 7. And I was in Germany, and my native tongue is German. My parents came over to America after Hitler's downsizing program, which I call it. And so I wanted to go back there and got stationed in the same town where my grandmother's from, which is great. But all the sexual harassment, I buried it and buried it and buried it, denied it. I even had a lieutenant say, anytime I walked in the room, well, he went from lieutenant to major because he was sexually harassing people anyway. But anytime he'd see a woman, I was there by myself on the whole post, the only one female military, for 6 months till others started coming in. And anytime I was around, he would say to a great big room of men and just me, they call me the 60-minute man. And he was in charge, and everybody just followed. So if your leader is going to be like that, it's going to be everywhere. And one time I got so sick of him saying that, I literally said, what, to get it up? And he never said that phrase again in front of me. So I had to use comedy just to cope with the military sexual harassment that was condoned by people in charge.
And it was a completely different time back then, too.
It was.
Wow.
And now, they're doing a lot of things, and everybody's so aware of what military sexual harassment is, military sexual traumas, and hopefully it's getting better, not just denied. But, in my day, it was all day long, everybody, and would be trying to hit on you. And you had to learn creative ways to get them off of your case without getting demoted. Hence, more comedy. I've kind of used comedy to cope my whole life. So when I come out of the military, I didn't even know I had PTSD until I got a free brain injury from a drunk driver in '96. And with the brain injury, all of a sudden, these symptoms of PTSD started appearing, like I had a new personality. And I didn't laugh for 8 years. I lost my ability to laugh. And I got so depressed, I was on a couch for 8 years, you guys. 8 years when that PTSD kicked in. And it took, from the time I got out of the military and realized, it took years for the VA to say, okay, we'll compensate you based on post-traumatic stress due to military sexual traumas at 100%. And they fought me tooth and nail, and I had to laugh the whole time. But there was an 8-year period in my life where my life spiraled downhill because I couldn't have comedy in it. And those are the people I'm looking to make laugh. The people that, one step before you need to call the suicide prevention hotline, I want to get those veterans that really want comedy, need comedy, even want free help to take their traumas, their pain, and write it out in a funnier way. So when they go over the old tapes in their life, they can do it in a humorous way, help themselves, and other people will want to listen to what they went through because it's framed in a funny way now. And I don't expect everybody to be ready for what I'm offering, but it's been working really well as a curriculum that I offer at the VAs I go to.
So it's pretty much learning how to share your story, even if it's a traumatic story, how to share your story through laughter, through in a comedic way. So through laughter, being able to look back and laugh about it, or flip how you look at it so that you can heal from it.
Yes. And you get the freedom to say, okay, I was born and raised in Portland, Oregon, and my parents were alcoholics. Who wants to listen to, that depth? That's serious. They're not going to laugh. They're going to get more depressed. You're going to get more depressed rehearsing that in your mind. But if you can write it out and start looking at it like, my parents fought all the time, and I think the only thing they ever agreed about was birth control, so I'm winning. There's a lot of pain underneath it. I'm just choosing to make other people laugh. They know there's something deeper. And I can do that with every area of my life because of learning how to do it. I'm happier, and I'm helping other people to do it.
And wouldn't some people look at that as avoiding?
That's funny that you should ask that because I've struggled with wondering if this is mentally okay. Because I get really sad, I'll have to laugh. It's almost like an alternate personality. So I ran that by my psychologist, because you get one of those when you have a free brain injury, you get a free counselor. And so I said, at any point, do you worry about me always wanting to be in a comedic role? She said, no, not at all. You're not losing yourself in this. When it becomes dangerous is when you're not asking that. So, rarely is there somebody who is always acting and denying feelings. If you're writing out, if you guys want to do this at home and you go to write out how you feel about an event in your life, good or bad, the serious way, do that, then go back and write it where you just skim the surface, like whatever it is. You had your car stolen and they took all the facts about it. And then you go back and go, somebody stole my car the other day, and I didn't even know it was stolen because I never can figure out where I parked my car. And just throw a twist. It's so easy to do, and so I can sit with veterans on the phone or by text or email, and they'll tell me a story, and I'll help them if they're willing, if they're ready, if they're healed enough. I don't want to force this on somebody who's still trying to cope with the tragedies. But when you're ready to do it, it's so empowering.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Wow. Just a little bit. I'm catching like what you're saying, and it's making me laugh. And it feels good. It changes laughter changes the energy. It releases endorphins. It's true. Laughter heals. So, and being able to go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you, Airial, but one day I was at a coffee shop, and this is what started me thinking about a curriculum, is that I was at a coffee shop, and a veteran came up to me, and he goes, "You do comedy, right?" And yes. And he said, "Well, I'm so embarrassed that my eyeball, my retina is detached, and I look like a freak, and I'm so depressed." Well, I'm here to tell you, ladies, I got depressed just hearing it that way. That was the first time I realized, well, I got my parents to quit arguing through comedy, and this guy just depressed me. People need to learn how to say things where they're not going to depress other people. And so I went in the bathroom, and I said to myself at the restaurant, I'm not coming out until I figure out how to take what he told me and make it funny, right? Mm-hmm. And like within 5 minutes, I came out, and I said, "Hey, Jim, do you want to hear a funny way to say that so you don't depress other people?" Like you just depressed me. And he said, "Sure." And I said, "Okay, here's what you tell them. Don't tell them that you're depressed because your retina is detached. This is what you say. Boy, life really, really bites getting old. Everything starts falling apart. It really bites getting old. I've got so much baggage. You have no idea. So much baggage. Even my retina has become a little detached."
Wow. That is such a talent to be able to do that.
Thank you. I just love life. I have a purpose. I have a passion. I have a life worth living. You have no ideas how much I could depress you guys telling you all my baggage. But I refuse. It's not that I'm in denial of it. It's just that, I've spent my years depressed and crying and feeling rejected and abused, and you have to have the time for everything. And I guess this is my time to see who's out there that wants to do this. That's it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So time to make us laugh even more. Go for it. I know I'm putting you on the spot. Yeah, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but go for it.
Okay. I'll do a little bit about my going into the military comedy, okay?
Okay.
Because that pretty much applies here. I'll pretend I'm on stage for all of you. Hey, guys, I'm Lynn Marcus. How y'all doing tonight? Yeah, they say that like they care. So I went into the military, and I got stationed in this little town in Germany called Hanau. In 1973, I was there for 3 years. And when I got there, they didn't tell me I was the only one. Man, I like attention just like the next lady. But all of a sudden, I went from nobody in Portland to Gina Lola Brigida. All of a sudden. And if you don't know who Gina Lola Brigida is, don't Google it. Just insert Kim Kardashian. It'll work. But all of a sudden, everybody wants a piece of me. I'm getting hit on by everything under the sun. German nationals, majors, enlisted people, you name it. I mean, I was one woman among 2,000 men. Any which way you do the math, it couldn't be good. And I've got a really good case of PTSD now. And side note, no, it doesn't stand for post-STD, post-traumatic stress disorder. You know, you jump a lot. You don't want people coming up behind you, yelling your name. You just want to live a life of peace. That's kind of what I do when I go into my military stuff.
Wow.
So, you know, there's a whole lot of pain and trauma attached to my military experience, but you didn't really hear it.
Right.
You heard me making light of it, but not being disrespectful.
So how do people get in touch with you to learn how to share their story in a lighter way?
All right. Well, I have an email. It's Lynn Smith, Lin, like Nancy, Lin Smith, 2476 at Yahoo. So it's Lynn, short for Linda, Smith like Jones, 2476, don't ask me why, at Yahoo, like the drink, .com.
Okay.
I have a Facebook.
There we go.
And that's Linda Marcus Smith on Facebook. And any woman veteran, any male veteran can text me anytime, day or night. Tell me a topic and how you feel about it. Like, my landlord is driving me crazy. I'll write you a joke so you can cope with it. I can breathe.
Jokes to cope.
Yes, yes. This is my passion. I want to do this. If I could fly around the world, I would want to be on a USO tour. But I can't. I'm limited due to blood clots. I got them for free. I'm not complaining. And so I just want to be like the Bob Hope stateside.
That is, wow. Just to be powerful and talented enough to turn anything around. Because that I mean, you have to be in a certain frame of mind to even have that as a possibility. Because I know when we get depressed, I mean, like clinical depression and like suicidal, it's so hard to see the light. It's so hard to see the hope. It's so hard to see just anything positive. So for you to be able to listen to somebody's story, and not because vicarious trauma, secondary trauma, that's real for those who help other people. But to be able to hear that and turn it around and make yourself laugh and to make the other person laugh so that they can share their story and heal, but also, you know, making it light enough to make others laugh. That is just absolutely amazing. I am just like in awe over here.
Thank you. One gentleman that's a veteran told me one day at the VA coffee shop here in Portland, he said, I heard your comedy once, and you have no idea what you do to me when you take me out of my head. For 5 minutes, I'm not feeling physical pain, mental pain. Okay, so I have a life worth living. You know, Jesus could take me home today. I don't care.
And you said people can text you at any time. Are you comfortable giving your number out?
Absolutely. And you have that link to the GoFundMe should anybody want to. I'm trying to raise funds to bring quality comedians who will not trigger veterans by yelling or saying things against the government or cuss words. Just clean, politically correct. I'm trying to get funding to bring good ones to my comedy show that's still going on in Manhattan and the 3 cities I do comedy for on the West Coast. So you can feel free to consider that or not. And in your process of healing, ladies, just know that you have a warrior that's gone before you that is mighty. I refuse to give up. I refuse to give up for what life has handed me as a woman veteran. I refuse.
Thank you so much for all that you do. Again, Linda Marcus Smith, all of her information will be in the show notes. Please make sure to reach out to her to find a way to reframe your thoughts about whatever you may have gone through in life, trauma-wise, good-wise, childhood-wise, whatever it is. Reach out to Linda. She's there. She has an open heart and mind, and she can help you cope through laughing about it, not denying it, but just laughing about it and seeing it in a different light. Thank you again, Linda, for all that you do and for being a guest on the Veteran Woman podcast. I appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you and all of you ladies, and I forgot to give you my text number. I don't care if I get 200 texts. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So my text cell is 503-660-9509.
You've been listening to the Veteran Woman Podcast. If you want to connect with Airial and let her know what you thought of today's show, be sure to head over to www.theveteranwoman.com and follow her on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter @The Veteran Woman.